5 feet 3 inches or under. Rotational velocity. Your unfair athletic advantage at 5 feet 3 inches or under is a structurally minimized moment of inertia. Because moment of inertia scales with the square of the distance from your pivot center, your shorter limbs naturally keep mass close to your core. This spatial compactness drastically cuts resistance to rotational force, allowing your frame to achieve rapid angular velocity so you flip, spin, and twist faster with far less energy. This mechanical efficiency makes your height dominant in gymnastics, figure skating, and platform diving, where pulling into a tight mid-air tuck accelerates rotation. For instance, gymnast Simone Biles, 4 feet 8 inches, uses this fast rotation to pull off skills like the Yurchenko double pike, where a taller athlete's longer limbs would strike the floor before finishing the spin. Your frame also excels when total mass acts as weight or drag, such as in horse racing and lower weight class combat sports. In thoroughbred racing, Hall of Fame jockey Steve Cawthon, 5 feet 1 inch, used his compact frame to minimize aerodynamic resistance and physical load on the horse, turning low overall mass into a winning edge. 5 feet 3 inches to 5 feet 7 inches. Your unfair athletic advantage between 5 feet 3 inches and 5 feet 7 inches is force production powered by short lever arms. In physics, longer limbs act like longer wrenches, forcing joints to endure higher mechanical stress over a greater distance. Your shorter femurs and humerus bones create a compact movement path, meaning your joints require significantly less torque to move heavy loads. This structural setup allows your muscles to convert force into explosive power with extreme efficiency, giving you a distinct edge in functional fitness, Olympic weightlifting, and powerlifting. This joint efficiency is why female and male athletes in your range dominate functional strength sports like CrossFit and weightlifting. For example, 6-time fittest woman on earth, Tia Claire Toomey, 5 feet 4 inches, leverages her short limbs to drive massive explosive torque in deep squats and heavy cleans without the excessive joint strain taller lifters experience. In combat sports, this low center of gravity combined with joint torque lets you maintain an unshakable base while controlling opponents, as seen with Olympic gold medalist and UFC champion Henry Cejudo, 5 feet 4 inches. 5 feet 8 inches to 5 feet 11 inches. Your unfair athletic advantage between 5 feet 8 inches and 5 feet 11 inches is mastering inertia and rapid deceleration. Inertia is your body's physical resistance to changing its state of motion. Because changing direction requires bringing your forward momentum to zero first, carrying excess total body mass forces taller athletes to expend massive time and energy just to slow down. At your height, you possess optimal limb length for a powerful sweeping stride, yet maintain a low enough body mass to brake almost instantly. This efficiency lets you plant, cut, and accelerate in a new direction while larger opponents are still struggling against their own momentum. This mechanical edge makes your height range exceptionally dominant in multi-directional agility sports like soccer, football, and boxing. For example, in boxing, undefeated champion Floyd Mayweather Jr., 5 feet 8 inches, relied on this low body inertia to reset his footwork and evade incoming strikes far faster than opponents could recalculate. Similarly, in soccer, elite attackers like Eden Hazard, 5 feet 9 inches, exploit this exact physics tax, dropping their balance point to make violent lateral cuts before defenders finish decelerating from their last step. By balancing ideal stride leverage with low kinetic mass, you force taller opponents to pay a heavy physical penalty every time they attempt to react to your cuts. 6 feet 0 inches to 6 feet 3 inches. Your unfair athletic advantage between 6 feet 0 inches and 6 feet 3 inches is the optimal balance of stride efficiency and cardiovascular economy. At this height, your longer limb levers grant you exceptional ground coverage per step, allowing you to cover vast physical distances using fewer muscular contractions. Extremely tall bodies pay a heavy metabolic tax because the heart must work significantly harder to pump oxygenated blood across longer vascular routes against gravity. Your frame sits in a biological sweet spot where you maximize stride length without suffering from the cardiovascular strain or chronic joint stress, typical of taller athletes. This mechanical balance makes your height range dominant in high-endurance, multi-system sports like tennis, soccer, and swimming. For example, tennis legend Roger Federer, 6 feet 1 inch, demonstrated this efficiency by combining explosive serve leverage with smooth, low-energy court coverage across grueling multi-hour matches. Similarly, elite swimmers like Michael Klim, 6 feet 3 inches, leverage their extended arm reach and efficient leg kick to pull larger volumes of water per stroke, conserving vital oxygen over long races. You possess enough structural reach to dominate spatial exchanges while maintaining the cardiovascular machinery required for sustained athletic output. 6 feet 4, your unfair athletic advantage between 6 feet 4 inches and 6 feet 7 inches is generating extreme kinetic force through the kinetic whip effect. In physics, kinetic energy equals half the mass times velocity squared, meaning doubling the speed of a throw or strike quadruples its delivered energy. Because your limbs are significantly longer, your hands and feet travel along a wider rotational arc, giving your muscles a longer acceleration runway before impact or release. This geometric setup transforms rotational force at your shoulders or hips into incredible tip velocity at your extremities, creating a whip-like snap that shorter frames cannot physically match. This mechanical leverage makes your height range exceptionally dominant in striking, throwing, and launching sports like heavyweight boxing, baseball pitching, and football. For example, legendary heavyweight boxing champion George Foreman, 6 feet 4 inches, used his long arm levers to give his punches extra distance to accelerate, delivering devastating kinetic force at the point of contact. In the NFL, longtime quarterback Philip Rivers, 6 feet 4 inches, leveraged his extended arm length across 17 seasons to drive high velocity onto deep throws with minimal extra body contortion. Your long levers serve as biological whip extensions, maximizing terminal speed on every throw, serve, and strike. 6 feet 8 inches or above. Your primary biomechanical advantage at 6 feet 8 inches or above is spatial dominance combined with total geometric occlusion. Sitting higher off the ground gives you elevated potential energy, requiring far less effort to reach maximum height during jumps. Your standing reach acts as an environmental barrier that closes off passing lanes and spatial angles before an opponent moves, forcing them to alter their release points and shooting trajectories just to function around you. This spatial control makes your height dominant in sports like basketball and volleyball. For example, LeBron James, 6 feet 9 inches, uses his massive reach to contest shots and pass over pressure with minimal vertical strain. At the extreme end, Victor Wembanyama, 7 feet 4 inches, uses an 8-foot wingspan to create an active defensive perimeter while standing completely still, altering shot arcs without even leaving the floor. Subscribe to discover your hidden biological advantages.